What's up, guys? I'm back. Today, I wanted to make a ranking video on every single mythic ever added to Fortnite. Also, honorable mentions are the mythics that are not in the game. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what people talk about. There's like leaked mythics that have not returned, have not come out yet. I didn't include the Mystique pistol because I kind of guessed what they'd be like. But without further ado, let's get into the video. I will start in a second. Alright. First on our list, we have the Black Panther Mythic. I don't really understand what Fortnite did with this Mythic. It's just not useful to me. I don't really like it. I mean, I like the actor, but I just don't like this Mythic. Didn't really turn out great. That's what I think about this Mythic. Next, we have the Storm Tornado. There's not really much to say about this Mythic, except that it blocks stuff if you use it at the right time. That's probably about it, what I think about this Mythic. And that's what I think about this Mythic and its purpose in the game. And that is what it looked like. Moving on, we have the Groot Ball. If you use the ball in Season 8, you might like this. It has a healing process, healing generation, whatever you want to call it, and it moves around like a vehicle. That is what I think about this Mythic. Moving on, we have the Venom Smash and Grab. You might like this Mythic. There's a great tactic. If you use it, you can also do this with a harpoon gun. You can risk somebody. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can get a fall damage. You can get someone to take fall damage by rifting into a rift and then do it at the same time. And you get them to take fall damage. Next up on our list, we have the Mythic Batter Ring from Season 10. That season was a pretty chaotic season, but this was a great weapon or item added to the game. And that is what I think about this Mythic. And here's what it looks like. Next up on our list, we have the Grappler. This was a great Mythic. It's pretty much the Jules Grappler, except Jules has a gnome. That's what her glider's called, But this uses a bat glider. If they had made this infinite, man, I think this would be a little bit better and a little bit cooler than the Jules Grappler. This is what I think about this Mythic. Next up on our list, we have the Deadpool Dualies. This was a decent Mythic. We also have the Mystique Pistols and the Infinity Blade. I think these were some decent Mythics, but when they got nerfed, when the Infinity Blade got nerfed, it became this weak, in my opinion. The Deadpool Dualies were never really great. They didn't have good accuracy. And I could probably say the same thing for Mystique's Pistols, because they probably won't be that good either. That is what I think about these three Mythics. And that's why I put them there. Next up on our list, we have the TNT Boombo and the Doom Bomb. This is just a weaker version of the Boombo, and that's why I put it there. And then the Doom Bomb, you can only use it for every 15-something seconds, and it barely does anything when I use it. I mean, let me know what that thing actually works, because I think I might need to fix it. That is what I think about these two Mythics, and that is why I put them there. Moving on, we have the Meowscles Pow Pow Rifle. This was one of my favorite Mythics, but if you just compare it to every other Mythic, it's just not as good and as fun to use as some other Mythics like the Mythic Scar. It just was nothing compared to Skye's assault rifle. That's why I put this there, and that's why I put this specifically on this part of the list. Moving on, we have the Iron Man Gauntlets, the Doom Gauntlets, and the Wolverine Claws. I think these Mythics have a great spot. The Iron Man current Gauntlets really aren't that as good as I used to like them compared to the old. If you play in Season 8, that LTM. The Wolverine Claws, I just cannot get a kill with them. And the Doom Gauntlets are just slow. And there's nothing really too much to say about them. Next up on our list, we have the She-Hulk Fist. I really think this is a pretty good mythic. 50 damage for each shot. And then 100 for that finisher. I think this is a great mythic added. And that is what I think about that. Next, we have Shadow Midas Drum Gun, Jules Drum Gun, and can you guess what the next one is? The Silver Surfer Board. These mythics are three of my favorite mythics, but they just didn't really make it too high on the list. They were all served a purpose in Fortnite. That is why I put them there, and that is why I put them on this list. Next, we have the Ocean Burst. 39 damage per shot. What the heck? Literally, this is like the next Jarvis gun. That is why I put this on the list. But if you compare it to any other mythic, this doesn't really compete against other mythics, in my opinion. And I just didn't have as much fun as the mythics that are higher on the list. That is why I put it on this spot. Next, we have the Thor Mjolnir. I don't really have much to say. All I can say is it's just a weaker version of the Unibeam. It really isn't too bad, but I just like the Unibeam better. And that's why I put this on that part of the list. Well, this part of the list. Next, we have the Kit Charge Shotgun, also known as a Mythic Shotgun. We also have the Unibeam. I put these mythics on here because I thought first of all, this will be a good combo. The Unibeam is a great mythic. A lot of pros use it. And the Mythic Charge was a disgusting gun in Season 3, Chapter 2. If you use this gun, you might understand why I put this on this part of the list. Next up, we have the Brutus Minigun. And we also have the Ocean Bottomless Chug Jug. I put these on the list because I had a pretty good amount of fun of using these mythics. They were a great addition to Chapter 2, Season 2. I want Epic to continue making mythics like these. These were a good addition to the game. That is why I put them on this list and this ranking. Next up, we have the Skye's Grappler. This is just a weaker version of the Jules Grappler. It's just not as cool, really. And it also had a delay. If you know what I'm talking about, they delayed it because it was kind of overpowered in that season. That's why I put it on this list and this ranking. Next up, we have the Jules Grappler. One of my favorite mythics of all time. I think it was a great addition to the game. Probably my second favorite mythic from that season, or third favorite actually, because I like the shockwave launcher, and yeah, that's a hint on the shockwave launcher right there on the list. Next up, we have is the Thor's Stormbreaker. This was a mythic that can only be used in the Season 8 LTM Marvel Endgame, or whatever you want to call it. It was a great weapon, but I just didn't have as much fun as with the other ones. Next up, we have the Iron Man posters, the original ones. These did a bunch of damage. If these were implemented into like solo modes, literally it would delete like every single hacker or pro in the game. If you ever use these, you would know what I'm talking about. That's why I put them on here. Next up, we have every single item from the Thanos minions. The rocket, the gun or whatever, and the jetpack. And also, on the same ranking, I put Captain America's shield because I had just about as much fun as them with this. The Captain America shield, I had a bunch of fun with it as the Thanos minions. I think these are a great mythic, and I wouldn't mind them returning into the future of Fortnite. Keep it up, Epic. Next up on our list, we have the Hot Guy Bow. Probably, personally, one of my favorite mythics of all time. You could grappler with it, and you could hit your shots like a boom bow master. This is why I put this on this ranking. Next up on our list, we have the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. Snap. And also the Mythic Goldfish. The reason why I put the Mythic Goldfish this highs is a one hit, and if you're really good at aiming with like Mythic Goldfishes, they're really good. And the Mythic Thanos Gauntlet was a great Mythic, and if you used it, you would understand. And it's like iconic Marvel villain. That is why I put it on this ranking. Next up on our list, we have the Mythic Scar, also known as Skye's Assault Rifle. It was a great Mythic. Like, literally, it was like a controller player Mythic. That's how high it was. 37 damage per shot. The fire rate was insane. Great Mythic. Next up on our list, we have the Kit's Shockwave Grenade Launcher. One of my favorite Mythics. It was such a good idea. I want Epic to continue doing stuff like this into the game. I wouldn't even mind this back in the game right now. And that is it for our list. Just joking. Can you guess what the last Mythic is? Can you guess what my favorite Mythic is? I bet you won't guess it. It's the Midas Drum Gun. The Midas Drum Gun was my favorite gun ever owned into the game. 25 damage per hit. The fire rate was insane. Probably not as good as the original blue and green drum gun from when it first came out, but it was one of my favorite Mythics of all time. That is why I put it on the #1 ranking. Thanks for watching the video. I will see you next time. Take care. Talk soon. See you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this ranking. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video.